Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation x to the power of x is equal to 3. So, to solve this, I'm going to first start by taking the ln, or natural log, on both sides. So I get ln of x to the power of x is equal to ln of 3. Now, an important property of logarithms is that if I have something in the form ln a to the power of b, I can move this exponent b to the front, so this turns into b times ln a. So in this case, I have ln x to the power of x, and I can move x to the front, so I get x times ln x is equal to ln 3. Now, I'm going to use an important formula called the W-Lambert formula. And it states that if I take the W of something in the form a times e to the power of a, then this is equal to a. So this is the W-Lambert formula. So in this case, I'm going to rewrite this so that it suits the W-Lambert formula. So we need to change this to be in the form a times e to the power of a. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to first start by rewriting this x as e to the power of ln of x, because e to the power of ln cancel out, so that's just x is all that remains. So x is the same thing as e to the power of ln x, and I have this times ln x is equal to ln 3. So now notice how this is in the form a times e to the power of a. A in this case being ln x, so it's the form ln x times e to the power of ln x is equal to ln 3. So now if I take the W-Lambert function on both sides, I get w of ln x times e to the power of ln x is equal to ln 3, and this is just equal to a. So, and sorry, I have to take the w on both sides, so I get w of ln 3, and then now I'm left with ln of x is equal to w of ln 3. Now I want to get rid of this ln, so I'm just going to take e to the power of both sides. E to the power of ln is, these two cancel out, so I get x is equal to e to the power of w of ln of 3. So this is my answer to this equation. Now if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and check out other videos that are similar to these on my channel. Thank you. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the problem 3 to the power of 13 minus 3. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by rewriting this as 3 to the power of 12 plus 1 minus 3. Now if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So I get 3 to the power of 12 times 3 to the power of 1 minus 3. And from here, I can factor out 3. So I get 3 times 3 to the power of 12 minus 1. Now 3 to the power of 12, I'm going to rewrite as 3 to the power of 6 times 2. And that's equal to 3 times 3 to the power of 6 to the power of 2 minus 1 squared. And I'm writing this like this because now I can use the property a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So this turns into 3 times 729 plus 1 times 729 minus 1. This is equal to 730 times 728. So from here, I'm going to rewrite this as 700 plus 30 times 700 plus 28. So this is equal to 3 times 700 squared plus 700 times 28 plus 30 times 700 plus 28 times 30. Now this is equal to 3 times 490,000 plus 40,600 plus 840, which is equal to 3 times 531,440, which is equal to 1,594,320. So this is my answer. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation x to the power of 3 minus 8 is equal to 0. So how most people solve this equation is they add 8 on both sides. So I get x to the power of 3 is equal to 8. And then they take the cube root on both sides. So the cube root of x to the power of 3 is x, and the cube root of 8 is 2. So then they get x equals 2, which is a solution to this equation. But actually, there are more than one solution to this equation. So I'm going to rewrite my equation here, x to the power of 3 minus 8 equals 0. And now I'm going to rewrite 8 as 2 to the power of 3. So I get x to the power of 3 minus 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 0. And then now I'm going to use the formula a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3 is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So in this case, this turns into x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. So now I get two equations. I get x minus 2 equals 0 and x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. So for x minus 2 equals 0, I get x equals 2, which was a solution that we already got. But now see, on top of this, we have a whole nother equation with two more solutions because it's a quadratic equation. So to solve this, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So I get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 4, all over 2a, so 2 times 1. And this turns into negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 16 over 2, which is equal to negative 2 plus or minus negative 12 over 2, which is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 12i over 2, which is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 6i. So these are the two more solutions to this equation. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation x to the power of 8 is equal to 25 squared. So to solve this, I'm going to first rewrite this as x to the power of 4 times 2 is equal to 25 squared. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So x to the power of 4 times 2 is equal to x to the power of 4 to the power of 2, and this is equal to 25 squared. Now I'm going to subtract 25 squared on both sides. So these two cancel out, and I get x to the power of 4 to the power of 2 minus 25 to the power of 2 is equal to 0. And before we actually do this, I'm actually going to take the square root on both sides so I can cancel these twos out. So I get x to the power of 4 minus 25 is equal to 0. Now from here, I'm going to rewrite this as x squared to the power of 2 minus 5 squared is equal to 0. So now I can use the formula a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b on this. So this turns into x squared plus 5 times x squared minus 5 is equal to 0. So I get two equations. X squared plus 5 equals 0 and x squared minus 5 equals 0. So for x squared minus 5 equals 0, I get x squared equals 5. If I take the square root on both sides, I get x is equal to positive or negative square root of 5. Now for x squared plus 5 equals 0, I can subtract 5 on both sides. So I get x squared is equal to negative 5. If I take the square root, I get x is equal to the square root of negative 5, which is equal to the square root of 5i. So these are my four solutions to this equation.